Welcome to Fight for the Tea, the place where we get the real tea from the people behind the sport. Today we are joined by super welterweight boxer, owner of Mannings Boxing and Training Camp, British Boxing Board of Control, trainer, manager and promoter, and England amateur boxing coach and promoter, Anthony Manning.
Thanks for having me.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us here as well in your gym.
Yeah.
So to kind of like warm up the interview, we'd like to do a quick fire round and then we'll get on to the process that it took for you to get here and your boxing history. All right, so that's fine. Okay, so first question, southpaw or orthodox stance?
Orthodox.
Why?
Because my right hand is my strongest hand.
Okay. Who would your dream opponent be, past or present?
Conor
Ben. 3 qualities every fighter needs to have.
Dedication, self-belief, and the will to want to learn.
And who is your favourite boxer of all time?
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali. Hence. The Muriel. Yeah. And then, okay, what style would you give these 4 boxers? So out of the slugger, swarmer, box puncher, or outboxer, what would you give Derek Chisora?
What would his style be?
Yeah.
Slugger.
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, slugger as well.
Slugger, not swarmer?
The only thing is, the reason why I said that is because I forgot what you gave me.
So out of the 4, either slugger, swarmer, box puncher, or outboxer?
Yeah, I'll probably go with the swarmer. Yeah.
Swarmer. Errol Spence Jr.
Box puncher.
And Mayweather.
The other one.
Outboxer.
yeah, the other one, yeah, sorry.
I was thinking of your one's different to what I chose, but actually they were the same.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Okay. So I kind of want to know a bit about you, really. So like, where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up on Bromford Estate, and then I moved over to where I am now in Sturchley. So I grew up in Bromford Estate.
Okay. And what was your hobbies and interests at that time when you were younger?
I don't think I had any when I was younger, to be honest with you. I feel like it was just like, go with the flow. I didn't really, hanging out and stuff like that was, on a council estate, was probably what we'd done to occupy ourselves, really. There weren't no hobbies there. Mm-hmm. Never really had no specific interest in anything.
So then what led you then to your journey to boxing? I've
always got into mischief. I think I was always centre of attention. I was always wanted to be the man. I always found myself getting into troubles or problems because I was outspoken or I was different to other people. And obviously, I've been fighting all my life, so that's probably what led me into a boxing gym. But I didn't start from a young age. I started from a teenager.
Okay. So what was that first experience of entering a gym and how did you get into that boxing gym?
Yeah, so it got to a stage where I was 19 years old and I wanted to do something more with my life. So I stumbled upon a boxing gym. Went into a boxing gym and literally the energy, the vibe, the buzz, the unity, the father figures, the discipline. That's just felt like home.
Was that missing from you before then?
Yeah, I felt like it was missing. Yeah, it was like they say that the universe brings certain things to you. You know what I'm saying? And that was probably a blessing in disguise, to be fair. Walking into a boxing gym and ironing out the creases in my shirt in regards to the kind of background past and the mindset that I was in, to getting into the mindset through boxing, which obviously changed my mindset.
What was that mindset though? I know you're saying you were brawling and stuff before fighting. So what was that mindset that you had walking into the gym?
I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of energy that I wasn't challenging in the right places. I was using it to get myself into conflicts, or I was using it to risk my life sometimes as well, to be fair. So I was just challenging it in the wrong way, and then it kind of, walking into a boxing gym then made me think, okay, cool, let me just hit the ground with this and push on, and that's what I try to do, yeah.
And so what was your thought when you went to that gym? What do you think it took to become a boxer? Was it very different from actually the training and the schedule that it actually took to become that boxer?
Nah, to be fair with you, I thought, realistically, we're risking our life hanging out on the street and causing trouble, risking our freedom and things like that. And when we walk into a boxing gym, it's the same. When you go into the ring, you're risking your life, and realistically, your life's on the line. Your opponent's coming to either take you out or obviously beat you. So it was kind of like, it worked hand in hand. The energy that I had, if I knew if I could challenge it and cross it over, I could make something of it.
What was that first fight experience like then?
Yeah,
for
the
you?
first fight experience was crazy because it's a controlled aggression. And one thing a fighter don't know is how to control his aggression.
Exactly.
A boxer does, because obviously he wants to hit and not get hit, and he's thinking ahead and he's got certain attributes. But like a fighter is just a fighter, innit? Like, win by any means, innit? That's a mentality.
Did you go into it as a fighter or
I
as a
went into it
boxer?
as a fighter, yeah. I didn't know how to box. So because obviously I started late, boxing wasn't a natural thing to me. Fighting was, but boxing wasn't.
Yes.
So I knew I could always hold my own. I knew I could always dig deep. I knew if the going got tough, I was able to look after myself and things like that. But I just went into there with a fighting mentality, which was kill or be killed. And at the same time, I had about 150 people there supporting me as well, from my council estate where I was from, Bromford. So it was kind of like, Anthony Mannings going to go into boxing. What's he going to do? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Isn't that pressure though? Like,
yeah, it was bare pressure.
especially if they know you as a brawler and they know you like that you can fight. So wasn't that a bit of?
Yeah, it was pressure, man. It was pressure. I remember it was at the Beaufort Social Club by the Fox and Goose, and one Olipa man came down to support, and I tried to give a best account of myself. But realistically, like I said, I went in there and we just ended up scrapping, and obviously that, like, the man who wants the will got me through the fight.
Did you win that fight?
Yeah, I got the win. Yeah.
Nice.
So that was my first amateur fight. So that put me in good stead to try and obviously continue to win and obviously learn and move forward.
So how does the boxer mentally control the fight then? Outside of the physical aspect, how do they mentally control what's happening in the ring?
I feel like it's down to experience, if I'm honest with you. Like you say, once you're put in them situations often, the more you're in that situation, the more you're going to understand how to carry yourself. Obviously, you then go back to the drills and the scenarios you've been doing in the gym, and obviously the coach in the corner to remind you about these things and stuff. So you're not in there on your own. And then obviously you're just trying to apply them when you're in there, really. Everything that you've practiced and things that you've anticipated, you just kind of try and control the situation or think to yourself, I've been here before in sparring, and then kind of work your way around it.
So I say that first amateur boxing fight, what did it then take for you to get to professional? Because was your first professional fight at age 27?
Yeah, so I turned pro, I think it was 26, 27, so yeah. So I had 16 amateur fights, and then I kind of was getting to an age where I was like, okay, when I'm boxing for a trophy, it's not really going anywhere in regards to like time's ticking on, and I'm not getting any money from it or anything. What am I gonna do? And then I kind of like dropped boxing for a while, and I was like, let me try and focus on other things to try and bring income in. And then like I realized that like there's a million ways to make money, and like where you gonna make it where you're happy. So I was just like, let me turn pro. So I applied to turn pro. I signed with them MTK, which at that point was like obviously a good platform. They had the likes of Fury, Billy Joe Saunders, Charlie Edwards, Sonny Edwards, like obviously good names. I signed with them, and I was looking forward to my debut. Yeah, it was like a big thing for me because where I was growing up, I was always told that we couldn't achieve. I'm trying to say we wouldn't achieve, we won't. That was just a normal thing. So when it was status of professional, yeah, it was a big thing.
Was that self-motivation then? Because if you're being told from a young age you can't do something, how did you motivate yourself? Was that somebody motivating you or within?
Yeah, I've always been motivated from my past, to be honest with you. It's always been a thing inside of me that like all the odds that was against me, just push to get them in your favour. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always there to prove, first to myself, obviously second to the people around me that love me, and then third to the people who said that I couldn't.
Definitely. So you had 8 fights, is it 6 wins, one loss, one loss?
And the funniest thing is I lost my debut.
No.
Yeah. I always like to talk about that because obviously like you just said, how did that mean turning professional status and all that?
Yes.
And then obviously for me then to walk out to the ring with, 300 people there supporting me, 300 people there coming to support me from my local estate, for me not to get the win, it was devastating. it was obviously, I looked in the mirror after that and I had to say to myself, how did that happen? It was just accountability.
What did you lose on? Was it technicality points? Like, what was?
You know what? I lost. The referee stopped the fight. It was this. For me, it was so disheartening. Like, looking back, it was definitely a point where I says to myself, "Yo, because I was in front of everyone.
Yeah.
I can't express the feeling, man. It was definitely, like I said, I've tried to beat the odds all my life, and then when I get that status and I feel like I'm there, ready to do it." Then they never got the nod. I kind of just had to.
But to your credit, your debut was a loss, but then you still went on to do a next 7 fights.
From every loss, we have to bounce.
Yeah. So how long did it take them from that fight to your next to get back?
I'm ready, like straight away, literally straight back to winning ways. But it was like that, the strength in the loss, there was way more strength in it. Like people say, "Oh, you lost, so are you that good?" Nah. But that built me for the next fight and the next fight.
More resilience.
Yeah. So I'm used to like we understand that, like we have to take them. Losses and defeats, and we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and readjust and come back stronger and all of that. And that's all that it done really. It's just made me say, okay, look at it from this perspective, approach it like this, apply yourself like that, and go, let's go.
Would that be your most impacted fight then?
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah, it's like debut, loss and professional debut for me. That, like, I like to highlight that and say, like I say, I come back from every loss that I've done.
Yes.
And we can go into, obviously, other things as you talk about me.
Where you are now.
Where I am now. So every loss that I've had, I've always turned it into a blessing or a lesson that's learned, and I've reapplied myself.
Did you want to go for any further titles or anything?
Yeah, in boxing, basically, what happened was when I was going for my 9th fight, obviously every year as a professional, you have to go for a brain scan. So I went for my 3rd year as a brain scan. And they said that I had a difference on the brain. So at that point, obviously, for me, I was going to appointments, trying to get everything right and spending money with private people and all that kind of stuff. But the boxing board of control wouldn't approve my license. So
what was that news like receiving?
Yeah, that was crazy because obviously I was depressed. I was disheartened. I didn't know what was next for me. It weren't looking good. But again, we kind of turned that into a blessing.
Definitely. So I suppose that's a good segue really to go on to this amazing training camp that you've produced. So what did it take to get all of this? And was that the mindset you had at the time, feeling like, you can't fight anymore? What fueled you to get this and to build this?
Yeah, so beating the odds, like I says, the underdog in it, like they're counting you out. Basically, you can't get your license. What have you got to fall back on? Who's helping you, who's supporting you? At that time, you've got to look in the mirror and say, okay, so what am I capable of? What do I know? What do I want? What will make me happy? These are all the questions I'm asking myself. At that point, I came up with an idea to create a one-stop shop. Obviously, as being a professional, as being an amateur, I knew how much boxing meant to me and what I wanted from boxing. Obviously, with that being taken away from me, how can I still be in a position to push on and use all the experiences and use the energy that I've got to keep battling? Then I came up with an idea that I thought was smart, having a one-stop shop. A lot of boxers travel to loads of different places for different facilities.
Yes.
So, they go to a boxing gym for boxing, then they go, the David Lloyd's gym for recovery, saunas and stuff like that. And then they go on Instagram for a physiotherapist, trying to look for nutritionists. So there's no one really saying we provide
everything here.
Yeah, you don't need to go nowhere else. And then that was the idea. But again, I thought it was a smart idea because I was thinking outside the box. And the second thing is I thought there was a market for it in Birmingham, with that being the second biggest city. To take it.
Did you always have that kind of business mindset then?
Yeah, I've always been, from 10 years old, I've always been selling Pokemon cards.
Right, hustler.
Yeah, natural born. Literally buying my own school shoes. Anything that I got, I'll got it myself. survival instincts is
Because it's one thing having that idea, but it's another thing,
Putting
you know,
into place.
putting into fruition. And I mean, here are hyperbaric chambers, saunas, as you said, nutritionists, physios. So just getting all those different elements, was that tough putting it together, or did you already have links of people, you know, during your time in the industry where you could build it?
I feel like I had the links in regards to the people, the boxers, and you know the promoters and the understanding and the support, the sport. But in regards to like equipment and stuff like that, no, I never had the links through. It was just something that I went out and seeked, researched, obviously educated myself as well, because at the end of the day, one only knows so much in it at that time.
Yeah.
So to keep moving, obviously I need to research and do my due diligence, and obviously educate myself to become the man I am today.
Definitely. And I understand you have like other like Birmingham City footballers come and train here as well. So is it open to different people and different fighters?
Yeah, so obviously I'm a city boy. I appreciate everyone from the council estate to the business owners to the rappers, the footballers, and obviously the boxers that are coming through, the talent that's coming through. So with that being said, like we work with the businesses that sponsor the gym. You know, we appreciate them supporting us. We obviously do sessions for the boxers, and we're open to athletes as well that are coming into the gym.
Nice.
To use the space, who want to do physio or they just want to do some strength conditioning or whatever it is. Just at the end of the day, everybody's got a journey in it, so we're interacting with like-minded people, really. Yeah.
Definitely. So you fused your experience, your knowledge into the gym, but also into coaching and management. So what was that like, taking that and actually teaching somebody the skills that you'd utilised and learned over the years?
Yeah, so that it's mad because you're on a journey and you're looking for someone to teach you, but then when you look in the mirror, you're the teacher. So like it's like you've always been seeking somebody to teach you something, but now the people are seeking you to teach them something. So it's like, it was just a natural fit for me. Realistically, it was like all the hard work and all the sacrifices and the consistent and the dedication that I'd put into my journey. When I'd got somebody who was looking for a mentor, was looking for a teacher, was looking for a gym, and I could provide that.
Yes.
It was just, it was just like purpose in it. At that point, I was like, I found my purpose in it, so I'm good.
And how does it feel to develop those fighters, to see them from stage 1 to stage 2?
It's great, to be honest with you. You know, we've got a handful of fighters coming through the gym that I train and manage, and obviously, you know, they've become family to me. They're in the gym, they're trusting me, they're trusting in me to help develop them, to help get them the positive opportunities, you know, to make the right decisions. And with that job role there, it's mad because I was once trained and once managed and once promoted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like, okay, what wasn't right for me? What didn't work for me? You know what I'm saying? Along with understanding the fighter, because I've once been the fighter.
Yes.
So at the same time as what didn't work for me, what works for that fighter, because every fighter is different. Mm-hmm. So it's just about having the experience and the journey that I've been on, and then putting it into practice, because like I said, I've been amateur, I've been professional, I've been managed, I've been promoted, you know, I've fought myself. So I don't know what's missing. I don't know what other certificate or qualification do you want me to get?
Yes.
It's all there. It's all natural instinct to me.
How important is it to keep a fighter relevant?
Yeah, at this day and age, it's crazy because obviously we're seeing Logan Paul in the ring with Floyd Mayweather.
YouTubers fighting.
Yeah. So obviously he's in a position to do that because he's relevant. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a positive though, like.
It's a positive because he's bringing a massive audience and eyes to the sport, and Floyd Mayweather has been in the ring with the greats. So like realistically, you know, can you knock him for staying relevant and earning money and obviously showcasing his skills to a different audience? No, you can't, because at the end of the day, he's done everything that the public asks for him in the boxing game. Yeah. It's gone down in the history book. So that's one. And then Logan Paul brings his own
fan base
validation to the sport as well. So yeah, I think it's a win-win.
Okay. And how important is it for you to put Birmingham on the map?
That's the passion in it. That's the drive. That's where it comes from. For me, that's my purpose. Like realistically, I'm 33 years young.
I like that.
I'm dedicated. I got one bag of motivation, and I'm just so disciplined. I'm always looking to move forward. I'm not thinking outside the box, but I'm thinking about where's the demand in Birmingham? What's missing? How come we don't have the big shows here?
Yeah.
Why don't the talent shine? Why does it always leave Birmingham? When's our next world champion going to be where we can sell out a stadium?
Yeah.
And then obviously when I'm in boxing, the Birmingham people know that, we are trying to lift the sport of boxing, because that's important, because real recognize real.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're in boxing for the right reasons, people will support it. If you're in boxing for the wrong reasons, people will acknowledge it. So I'm in boxing for the right reasons, hence the reason why I boxed amateur, boxed professional, and got every license in boxing, which is needed to put Birmingham boxing on the map, as well as having the gym. It's a no-brainer that I've heavily invested into what I'm doing. And at this point, I get nothing back except for satisfaction, happiness, purpose, peace.
That's a lot to get back, though. Yeah.
But a lot of people think it's about the finance.
Yeah, monetary.
You're not rich in life until you've got something that money can't buy.
Yes.
So realistically, if you're standing there with material things and finance and saying, I've got this, I've got that, have you really got anything?
You have to build that foundation first. I mean, just talking about shows, you had one last month in March.
Yeah, we had an amateur show. Yeah,
how did that go?
Fights on that sold out. A proper demand for them kind of shows, because we're not doing this like just putting a ring in a room and people just coming to watch one fight and going home. We're keeping the crowd engaged.
Yes.
We're keeping the venue clean. Obviously thinking outside the box, doing things like violins and dinner shows and
so even a professional feel to the...
Yeah. Well, making an event, a promoter and event manager, so just making an event where people want to come and feel like they've been a part of something, they've supported something, a good cause, a good set of lads, and yeah, so it was a good sellout show. We're looking forward to the next ones coming up.
Nice. And I want to touch on some of the fighters that you're currently managing, like Hosea Stewart and Mickey Broughton. Do you want to name a few and kind of what's coming up for them? Any kind of fights that are coming up?
Yeah, so we got Mikey Broughton, Hamza Ahmed, Simon Ibikwi, Amir Abeka, and Regan Oliver. Jose Stewart trains out of our gym. I'm not actually managing him. I'm his trainer.
Okay.
So we do have a set of lads, a handful of professionals that are looking to push on, get wins, win titles, and obviously achieve their goals. For me, I'm on their journey. Everybody's on a different journey, and that's the beauty of it, is being on the journey. The destination's good, but we're looking forward to being on the journey with these fighters and seeing how we can progress them, how their journey unfolds and where they get to.
Definitely. Yeah. And I suppose, what would your advice be for someone who wants to be a boxer and coming into boxing?
Sorry?
What advice would you have for someone who wants to get into boxing?
My advice really would be head to a local boxing gym and find out if you gel with the coaches there, and if you feel welcome, and if you feel like you want to put your trust into the coach as an individual. And then from there, just apply yourself every day, consistency, stay motivated, mingle with the circle, because obviously it's a different, when you're in a boxing gym, it's like-minded people in it, so kind of like pick your circle, your friends or your peers you want to be around, and just stay hardworking, because hard work beats talent.
Definitely. And is anything that you would change on your journey?
Nah, because it made me who I am today.
Nice.
So there's nothing that I could change, but I don't have to call it hindsight, but I always think to myself, I wish I knew what I knew now when I was younger. But do I?
Exactly, because you wouldn't have got here. Yeah.
But that's the only thing. Other than that, all the cuts, the bruises, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the experiences, the lessons, it's all blessings. It's all blessings in disguise. It's all humbled me to the person I am today, molded me into who I am today. And I'm grateful for all of it. Up, down, high, low, round and roundabout. I'm grateful for all of it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Fight Score TV. Until next time, guys, please subscribe and like the channel. Thanks.